Since everyone is sitting around hoping we come up with a corona vaccine so we can go outside and do legal push-ups, let me tell you a story about this guy named Onesimus. Onesimus was an enslaved African who was brought to America, where he was purchased by Cotton Mather, the preacher dude who ran the Salem witch trials. You know, Cotton Mather was like Brett Kavanaugh, but, you know, like without the beer. So, in 1716, Onesimus told his master an incredible story. Mather was already thinking that Onesimus was wicked and thievish because Onesimus was intelligent. And that's how white people think of intelligence. Plus, Cotton was a preacher and Onesimus still practiced his African religions. Plus, you know, the dude's name was Cotton, and, you know, traditionally, cotton and slaves don't really get along. Anyway, Onesimus said that he knew how to cure smallpox. Now, you got to realize how terrible smallpox was back then. It wiped out entire civilizations. Basically, Europeans were like Thanos when they colonized America, and smallpox was like, you know, the fifth infinity stone. So, of course, Cotton didn't believe him. But Onesimus showed Cotton a scar on his arm and told him how in Africa they would take the pus from a smallpox sore. Now, I know this shit is like real gross. And then they would cut the arm and they would rub the pus into the cut, which made them immune to the disease. Now, Cotton thought Onesimus was lying his ass off. He thought it was crazy, but Cotton decided to try it because, I mean, you couldn't Google shit back then. Like, Wi-Fi was very slow back in 1716. And then Cotton, he went on to convince one of his homeboys who was a doctor to try Onesimus' cure. And the doctor did it. And then he did it on 242 people. And then in 1721, smallpox killed 14% of the people in Boston, 14% of the entire Boston population. 1 out of every 7 people. But damn near all of the 242 people who tried Onesimus' method, they didn't catch smallpox. So Mather, he saw what happened and he started writing letters to doctors all over the world. And the news spread around the globe. And for the first time, American doctors had evidence-based tests to show that live vaccines can provide immunity. Now, eventually, the smallpox vaccine became mandatory in Massachusetts, and then in America, and then in 1980, the World Health Organization declared that smallpox was the first disease that was ever wiped out by modern medicine. Now, to this day, it's the method used to create damn near every vaccine in the world. If they discover a cure for the coronavirus, it will be just a variation of the same shit Onesimus did. Now, this ain't even no secret. You know, you can read this whole story on the National Institute of Health's website. So, Onesimus saved Cotton Mather's family. He saved the city, the state, and eventually the whole entire world. But that's not the point of this story. A few years later, Onesimus had gathered up enough money to buy his freedom from Cotton Mather. Now, Cotton, who owed his life to Onesimus, took the money and then he made Onesimus stay enslaved. And so Onesimus, what did he do? He went back and raised the money again and offered it to Cotton. And this time, he even offered to purchase another enslaved man to replace him. And Cotton said no. And then when Onesimus told Cotton that he just wanted to be free, Mather told him, "But you just my slave." And that's why the respectability will never work. There is nothing that we can do, say, or wear to make them value our lives. You can live your whole life in a 3-piece suit and Stacey Adams, and it still wouldn't make you immune to the violent whims of whiteness. It has not changed in 400 years, and all the hashtags in the world and all the jogging won't make them see us as human.
Received in our newspaper.